People on this island, the island of Kos, are extremely unhappy about the prospect of a hotspot being built here, and they've actually been protesting against it. That, of course, has delayed the government's plans to get it built in time for this deadline today. They've been under enormous pressure from the European Union to create these registration centres, as they're being called, but the people here fear that they're going to become detention centres, that refugees arriving on the island will actually wind up staying here as people try to sort out who is a genuine asylum seeker, who's an economic migrant. Yesterday there was a protest in which villagers marched from Pili, which is a little bit further up the coast than where I'm standing. They gathered together to get signatures for a petition. They want a referendum on this issue, and then they marched to where the site is going to be built on an old army base. They weren't allowed to go any further because riot police were blocking the way. The people tried to get through the barrier, and chaos ensued. People here say they don't have a problem with refugees. They say they want to be helpful. They say this is not case of racism. They say simply that so many refugees coming onto the island will affect their livelihood, especially in the midst of a serious Greek economic downturn. We've all heard about the problems here with the single currency in recent years. People say they just can't afford this kind of trouble. Here's what one woman I met had to say a little bit earlier. She works as a reservations manager in one of the many hotels here.
We feel sorry about them. It's not the refugees our problem. The problem is our life, our job. We are fighting for our life because we have no life here without tourism.
But despite the violence yesterday, the islanders say they're going to keep protesting the building of this hotspot. They say Athens isn't listening, but Athens is having to listen to Brussels as well, of course. There's going to be a summit towards the end of the week during which EU leaders will be rating the progress of Greece so far in getting a better handle on the management of these huge flows coming through. But the Greek Prime Minister, Alexis Tsipras, has said, you've got to do more to help us. You're trying to turn us into a holding pen for refugees. We're going through an economic crisis. We need more organizational help, and we need other European countries to take their fair share of the refugees. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Kos.